Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about Russia and Belarus and nukes again. So, Russia has said that they have actually transferred some now, and they are in Belarus. Prompted a whole bunch of questions. We talked about this when it was first hinted at. So, during that video, I said basically Russia was not really going to be giving nukes to people. They were going to duplicate a U.S. policy. That turned out to be true in more ways than I imagined. So, Russia didn't actually give Belarus nukes. They put Russian nukes in Belarus, tactical nukes. And this is kind of what was expected. It's what the U.S. does too, by the way, just if you're wondering. The key thing is that Russia actually, in their announcement about it, kind of flat out said that no, there still are nukes. They said that they were put there in case anybody, meaning the West, tried to inflict a strategic defeat on them. Okay, again, it's Russia's nukes. They also said, Putin himself said, why should we threaten the whole world? I have already said that the use of extreme measures is possible in case there is a danger to Russian statehood. This statement is important for two reasons. One, not Russian and Belarusian, okay? Just Russian. Again, there are Russian nukes in Belarus. Belarus has not become a nuclear power. The other thing that's important in that is that their posture hasn't changed. Their policy when it comes to strategic weapons has pretty much always been only if there is a real existential threat to Russia as a country would they consider using them. And that still is the policy that they're kind of operating under here. That's what he said anyway. Another thing worth noting is that Putin said that they did this out of a policy of containment, which is just a wild term to hear. So most people probably heard about the domino theory during the Cold War, which is, if one country became communist, the next country, neighboring country would too. The counter to that theory, the U.S. policy, was called containment, sometimes called the Truman Doctrine. It kind of grew out of that. It was how the U.S. engaged in its soft imperialism, its soft colonialism that it did post-World War II. Russia is just kind of flat out saying they're going to do that at this point, which is interesting because I would like it noted that containment was not actually a super successful policy. But it's interesting to see Russian foreign policy being described in terms from the Cold War. It's also interesting to see kind of an open admission that Russia is engaging in that same kind of soft colonialism, soft imperialism. For those who still don't want to see Russia as the, capitalist oligarchy that it's become, I mean, you even have Putin saying it at this point. So it's worth noting that. Does the transfer of these tactical nukes really mean anything? No, not really. It's a foreign policy move, not a military one. There's no sign of any preparation or anything like that. This is about messaging, not actually using them. And it's important to remember that because anytime nuclear weapons get discussed, the U.S. gets nervous, particularly those who are a little younger and weren't alive during the Cold War, where this was just like every day. So just bear in mind there's no posture change. They're still under Russian control. So really, this is the equivalent of them moving them from a warehouse in Moscow to a warehouse in St. Petersburg. It's not a huge difference in any real geopolitical sense. And it's not a military move. It's a foreign policy one. It's a political one. So this isn't something I would get particularly alarmed about. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.